next topic is to look at the gross anatomy of the nervous system. So the cells were, of course, the microscopic anatomy. Now we're going to see what is visible with the naked eye. So we have a cross-section of a spinal cord here. So imagine slicing horizontally through your spinal cord. This is what you see. And then coming off to the sides are the spinal nerves. The first thing that you'll notice is that in the spinal cord, there are two different colors. So those two different colors refer to what we call gray matter and white matter. So the gray matter on the spinal cord is on the inside. It almost looks like a butterfly shape. And when you look at this under a histological slide, it'll actually look gray, which is where the name comes from. In the gray matter are all the cell bodies of the neurons and the dendrites of the neurons in the central nervous system. The other part is on the outer edges of the spinal cord. This is called the white matter. So the white matter is made up of all of the axons in the central nervous system. So let's think about why it actually looks white. Remember I told you that the axons are covered in the myelination, and the myelination is actually fat. So think about what color fat is. It tends to be a whitish yellow color. So again, that's why when you look at these axons, it literally appears white in color relative to the gray of the cell bodies and the dendrites. Now let's take a look at one of those spinal nerves, or any nerve, in the nervous system. So remember, all of the nerves, whether it's spinal or cranial, will be in the peripheral nervous system. So what a nerve is basically just a bundle of axons, again, in the peripheral nervous system. So let's look at these bundles of axons. So for example, this is one whole nerve right here, and you can tell that it's carefully organized on the inside. And how it's organized is by these connective tissue coverings. So let me walk you through it. We'll start our way from the smallest on the inside, for example, one little axon, and then we'll work our way out to the entire nerve. So here's one axon. One axon has its own covering, and that covering is called the endoneurium. Notice we're on the inside, the innermost covering, so endo means inside. Now, axons are bundled together in what we call a fascicle. So the fascicle is covered by a perineurium, connective tissue covering. So here, this would be one axon. There's the myelin sheath. This is the endoneurium. So here, notice this is a bundle of axons, and they're in one fascicle covered by this layer or covering called the perineurium. Now notice, in one whole nerve, you have lots of fascicles. So in this case, we can see one fascicle here, another fascicle here, another one here, and another one here. We see 4 different fascicles. When we combine all of those fascicles together, we have the entire nerve, and the entire nerve is covered by the epineurium. Remember, epi means on the outside. So here, this entire structure is the nerve, and then notice this outer covering is called the epineurium. Now, hopefully these sound a little familiar to you. Remember when we studied the organization of a muscle and how it was organized by covering? We saw the same thing. Instead of endoneurium, it was endomysium, perimysium, and epimysium. So in the nervous system, you could look at the word neurium, and you know that refers to the nerves.